Welcome back to the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar Podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Elyachar, the chief content producer and writer of JakesTake.com, a pop culture entertainment news website. If you're watching this video right now, please subscribe and please like it. And also, if you're listening to this conversation on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, subscribe, please. Thank you so much. I am thrilled to welcome my next guest to the podcast. He's an actor, model, and stuntman, and he's also one of my all-time favorite American Ninja Warrior athletes. His nickname is the Flying Phoenix. He has over 5.3 thousand Twitter followers, 21,000 Facebook fans, and 58.5 thousand Instagram followers. Please help me welcome Najee Richardson.
How you doing, guys?
Hi, Najee. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to talk with me today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
No problem. So let's get started. So when did you get interested in fitness, and how did that passion evolve into the desire to pursue gymnastics?
Oh my goodness. I guess I've just always been a very energetic kid. You know, when I was younger, I was always jumping off of things. I was always looking at movies like Power Rangers or, I don't know, some Jackie Chan movie. And I just was always like, doing something. I was so inspired by the things I saw on TV. So my parents thought, we should do something. He's got so much energy. He needs an outlet, to do all these things. So they put me in karate, and that's kind of how it started. And I was always flipping around at the gym. I was always tumbling and, doing everything except what I was supposed to do. So my coach recommended my parents put me into gymnastics, and my dad, he was actually a former high school gymnast. So it just seemed like the perfect fit. And they put me in gymnastics when I was 10 years old.
Awesome. So just to let you know, you became a fan favorite. You made your debut on American Ninja Warrior on season 7. So why did you initially want to audition for American Ninja Warrior all those years ago?
Well, I had been retired from gymnastics for a good 3 years at that point, and I think I was just kind of looking for something. There was still that athlete inside that just wanted to compete and wanted to have something to train for and push himself for. So I saw one of my old gymnastics teammates on American Ninja Warrior in season 6. So I reached out to him. His name's Dan Galzinski. And I was like, dude, this is so cool. Where did you find this? Like, how can I get involved? And he was actually building a gym at the time. He invited me to come check it out. I did, and I was really bad. I couldn't do any of the obstacles, but I became so obsessed with wanting to just conquer these obstacles that I couldn't do. It was a challenge for me. So I started going to the gym every weekend, and eventually, got really good at it, or decently good at that time. And one of the guys that was on the show, Chris Wilczewski, he's like, you should compete. Why don't you put a submission video? And you've got a lot of talent. So I did, not thinking anything was going to come of it. And a couple of months later, they called me and invited me to the show. And next thing I knew, I was competing, and it kind of just, steamrolled from there.
Awesome. Now, we got to talk about this current season. So because of the coronavirus pandemic, American Ninja Warrior, or I'm going to call this as throughout the interview, A&W, was formatted very different this year. Several of the producers invited the top 50 ninjas to the course, and they brought 2 representatives to join them. You were one of the people that were selected. I was very happy that you were selected, because I would not be very happy if we didn't have you this season.
I was happy too. I was missing it. We were all just sitting at home, just like, all right, is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? What's going on here? So I was super happy when they called.
Awesome. So can you describe your team to my audience, and why did you pick them?
Yeah, so 2 of my teammates, I had never met them before, Amber Dawkins and Ezra. Both of them come from very similar backgrounds, pretty closely to me. Ezra, he comes from a background where he was just an athlete, and he was going through some issues after losing his father, and just trying to figure out how to overcome that loss, how to overcome, those issues, and, get himself in the best shape possible. And that's very closely related to my background in terms of loss with gymnastics. I kind of lost myself in a way, and I had to figure out my way back from loss. So we kind of had that very similar background. And as far as Amber goes, she has cystic fibrosis. I have asthma. So we were just a great match. The three of us, we were able to just form this bond that I feel like it's really hard to do unless come from similar backgrounds. So that was kind of why I brought them along with me. And they're just two great ninjas. They were both rookies at the time. They both had been just like begging for their shot. They wanted it so bad. And I just remember being them. I remember like, oh, I just want a chance. I want to go out there and like show them what I'm made of and what I'm capable of doing. So it was just an easy choice to bring them along with me.
Awesome. And I got to commend the entire American Ninja Warrior production team for actually bringing the show to air. And also, not only that, making sure every ninja was safe.
Yes, absolutely. They did a it was very nerve-wracking for me, and especially for Amber, who has cystic fibrosis. I have asthma. We were very nervous about how it was going to work. How was the whole production going to keep us safe? Really practice social distancing. How was everything going to be sanitized? Just the whole logistics of it was very, very scary. But the show and the production team did a really good job at making all of us feel comfortable, making sure that all of our safeties was of the utmost priority. We were tested, before every show. So social distancing was very, very strict. They were not playing around. So they definitely took really good care of us.
I'm so happy you did that. Now, also on the show this year, you also told that you're one of the top leaders for the Ninja for Black Lives organization. And throughout the season, viewers saw you and many members of the ninja community wearing the Ninjas for Black Lives shirt on the show. In your humble opinion, how has the Ninja for Black Lives organization helped not just educate your fellow ninjas, but also the ANW fan base about the Black Lives movement?
Well, I think there's a lot of misconception about what it is that we stand for sometimes. And especially there's a lot of misinformation out there because there are so many different organizations that are so closely linked. And a lot of the time those train tracks get crossed and people don't know like how to tell what it is that you stand for and this and that. And Ninjas for Black Lives, we've been very clear about our mission. Our mission is education and fundraising for the NAACP, as well as just being a voice and using our platforms to speak our truths. So that's kind of the approach that I've taken in the Ninjas for Black Lives. I have a lot of, I come from an activist family, so I have a lot of different things that I can educate people on, as well as just using my own voice, the things that I'm feeling within myself, my own experiences, and just helping people see things from a different point of view, hopefully a less hostile point of view. But Ninjas for Black Lives is really just about educating our audience and setting up resources for fundraising. And that's our main goal, is just education and fundraising.
And I think you did a really good job this season promoting that. So I just want to commend you on that.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's talk about the qualifiers. So you ended your buzzer drop by completing the course. And could you describe your reaction when you hit that buzzer to my audience?
Well, in the qualifying, to be completely honest, I was a little sad. Not sad, I would say slightly disappointed. I was slightly disappointed because I really wanted to get the 18-foot wall. And, I got it back in season 10 and I was unfortunately unable to get it in season 11. So I was like, okay, here's my chance for redemption. I'm going to prove this wasn't a fluke. So I got up there and then I missed it by literally this much. My fingertips was on the lip, and I was so disappointed. But then I immediately remembered, like, actually I'm already off to a better start than I was last season. I hit a buzzer. So I was immediately happy afterwards. So it was a wave of emotions. It went from slightly disappointed to immediately really, really happy and grateful.
And I was elated too, because I've been waiting for you to hit that buzzer for a while.
Me too. Last season, season 11 was really, really tough. It was the very first season other than my first year, season 7, where I didn't hit a single buzzer. So that was very foreign. It was very foreign to me. I didn't like it. So hitting that buzzer was great. It was like, okay, I'm home. Like, I remember what I'm doing.
Awesome. Now, during the season 12 semifinals, you're one of the 6 ninjas to conquer the course in the back half of the course, including the Dungeon Inspire track. So what was your strategy moving forward during the back half of the course?
So my strategy moving towards the back end really for me was about conserve as much energy as I can, because earlier that day I was having a little bit of I was having a lot of difficulty controlling my breathing all day. That's kind of the tricky thing with asthma. Some days you have good days and other days you have bad days. And unfortunately, on the semifinals, for me, it was a bad day. I was having a lot of trouble controlling my breathing. My asthma was kind of giving me a lot of issues that day. So throughout the entire course, my whole mindset was, you can get through all these obstacles. You're strong enough to get through all these obstacles, but you need to make sure you have enough air in your tank in order to, stay safe. So it was about being as controlled as I possibly could. I was not in any situation to worry about my time. I knew that if I completed, I would be moving on. So it was really just about just hold on to your air, conserve as much air as you possibly can.
And I'm so glad you made it up to the Spire. Thank goodness you got your inhaler before you handled that Spire trap, because I'm not sure how you would handle that.
Yeah, it was rough. I remember right before I got to the ninth obstacle, just thinking to myself, this is a lot. It's a lot of dynamic moves. It's a lot of, explosive movements that I'm going to have to use. And I was actually worried. I want to say about halfway through the obstacle, I just felt my airway just tightening. And I was like, oh, this is not good. So as soon as I got off there, I knew I was going to have to get my inhaler, because for me, it just became more, it's always been a safety issue for me. It's not so much a concern of, am I fit enough to do this? It's okay, is this safe? Am I going to be safe if I continue moving forward? So that was really the decision to take my inhaler at that point.
Awesome. I got to give that ninja, I believe that was Michael Torres that helped you.
Michael Torres, yeah.
I want to give a shout out to Michael Torres as well.
Absolutely. He rushed over like a champ. It's so funny because the audience could only see milliseconds of things, but it made me feel so good. I mean, the ninja community, we're so tight, we're so close. And as soon as I got off the course, everyone rushed over and they were like, are you okay? What can we do? Do we need to call an ambulance? This and that. And I'm just like, guys, I'm fine. I'm good. You were there. You guys took care of me. I'm fine. Thank you so much. I love you all. They were so concerned. They were so, especially the ninja production side on the right side of the course that the audience can't see. They were freaking out. They were like, are you okay? You don't have to keep going if you don't want to keep going. They really took care of me. Everyone there, they were looking out for me. It was really touching.
That's why I love this community. Of all the communities I'm involved with and I watch, there's the America's Got Talent community where we support each other. But there's a Big Brother community, which is way too, and the challenge community, which is a little too toxic for me. But then there's the guys that always lift each other up, no matter what happens.
Yeah, it's one of the coolest things about American Ninja Warriors. And all of these other platforms and sports, I commend them for their competitiveness, because I get it. I was a gymnast and I was also a martial artist, so I get the competitive side of it and having to have that leg up in terms of the psychological approach of it. But with American Ninja Warrior, even though it's a last man standing sport, we all have this mindset that it's us versus the course. It's not us versus each other. So I think that allows us to be able to look at each other and lift each other up, because it's almost like, hey, your enemy's my enemy, the course. So we got to work together to beat this thing. And I think that's the mindset that we all have, which is why our community is able to be so tight and that camaraderie is so close.
All right, awesome. So Najee, after this season, if you add up this season 12, you have competed on 6 regular seasons of Ninja Warrior. Plus, I remember you did a Team Ninja Warrior season as well. And then add 1 season of American Ninja Warrior, Ninja versus Ninja. So you have almost 8 seasons of Ninja combined in your career.
Yeah.
So what have been some of your favorite memories competing on the show?
I have so many. My favorite, if I could pick top 3, if I could pick my 3 favorite course runs throughout my entire career, I'm gonna have to say season 8. My qualifying run in season 8, because that was my breakout year. I was coming off of my rookie year, which was a disaster in my opinion. So I was nervous. I remember being so nervous that I threw up in the waiting area. I just completely I was so nervous. And then I went out there and it just felt so natural. Everything just felt so natural. And I'll never forget that feeling. My second favorite run of my career was probably season 9, stage 2, season 9, stage 2, because stage 2 is notoriously in my opinion, that's the course that separates ninjas who are good at just one aspect versus ninjas who are just very well rounded. Only the best ninjas get through stage 2.
Najee, I'm so sorry to interrupt you. Just a clarification, it is not. We're talking about the Mount Midoriyama finals, not the city finals.
Oh yes, okay. So Mount Midoriyama final. So yes, we are. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. The Mount Midoriyama stage 2 of Mount Midoriyama. That for me is the course that separates the ninjas, the top ninjas, from those who are good at just one aspect versus the ninjas who are good at just everything, who are well-rounded. You need the speed, you need the power, and you need the endurance to get through stage 2. Stage 1, you just need speed. Stage 3, you need a lot of endurance. But I feel like stage 2 is the stage that just combines everything. So when I got through stage 2, it was like, okay, hey, like, I am a top athlete. Like, I've proved it to myself. Like, I know what I'm doing. Like, I deserve to be here. And now that brings me to my third favorite run, which hasn't aired yet. It has not aired yet.
Oh, I cannot wait to see this, guys. So
yeah,
guys, just to let you know, to see this air, I know this is going to come after the finale, but I think it's on YouTube and Peacock. So guys, go watch it. So I cannot wait. It's going to be to see this run. So I'm going to have to watch the YouTube again. I will comment on Twitter once I see that.
Yes, oh my gosh, this course run coming up in the finals is so cool. And for me, the reason it's so cool is because it was unlike any other course that I've ever run before. It was a ton of new obstacles. It was a mixture of obstacles I had always wanted to try, but never had the opportunity to because I wasn't competing in that certain city. And it was just, I don't know, I went in there with a different mindset. I think, coming into this season 12, I really didn't have any expectations. I had about 2 weeks of training under my belt coming into season 12 because of
2 weeks
COVID.
of training? Wow.
2 weeks of training. Yeah. So it was funny because I was training. I was at I want to say my peak physical conditioning going into season 12 in February. And then the show got shut down because of COVID. So naturally, because I have a respiratory issue, I decided to take social distancing seriously and quarantine myself. And I didn't, I did pull-ups in my apartment, but I didn't do any ninja. I hadn't ninja trained for like 3 months leading up to, season 12. So I had no ninja training at all. We got the call in the beginning, either the very end of June or the very beginning of July. I can't remember which, but it literally gave us 2.5 weeks. We got a call within 2.5 weeks of when we were supposed to fly out to St. Louis. And I was thinking to myself, I am not prepared. I'm not prepared. So I got in touch with one of the owners of the gym that I train at, Chris Wilczewski at the Movement Lab. He let me train. So I got about 2 weeks of training in, then I was off to St. Louis. So I really had no expectation this season at all. I was like, I'm just here to have a good time, really. I can't really expect to do well and I can't expect to fail because I know I'm capable of this, but we'll just have to see what happens. So going into finals, it was just like, hey, let's just see what we can do. Let's see what we're capable of here. So I think the mindset for me was what made all the difference.
Alrighty, so during his commentary on one of the runs, Matt Eisman mentioned that you are an ambassador for the American Lung Association. Can you describe to my audience how that partnership got started?
Yes, so one of the hardest seasons for me, season 10. So the water walls at the end of stage 2, Mount Midoriyama, the Vegas finals, I had completed all of stage 2 except the water walls. I got into the water walls, and the problem is when you have asthma, you need to try and take in as much air as you possibly can. And the water walls, obviously, you can't do that. You have to hold your breath. But the problem with that is I have such a limited amount of air supply because my lungs tighten the more I exercise, that it was hard for me to take in air. And me trying to hold my breath was what caused my asthma to spike. And I ended up having an asthma attack at the water walls while I was in the water, which was, in hindsight, very, very dangerous. And I probably shouldn't have continued. But, I just wanted it so bad. And it was so heartbreaking to see, my chance of making it back to stage 3 a second year in a row was just going up in flames. So the American Lung Association, they were watching that night. They had always been watching and always participated in the fight for air climb in Philadelphia. So they reached out to me and they were like, you are an inspiration to everyone who has asthma. These kids keep talking about you, and these parents, they want to see you, they want to meet you, they want to hear your story. So would you be willing to partner with us? I told them absolutely. I can't think of a better partnership to have than the American Lung Association and being an ambassador and being a face for asthma, and, trying to show kids that you're capable of doing whatever you want as long as you believe in yourself. It doesn't matter what disability you have, what's setting you back. Like, you are capable of doing whatever it is you want to do. And that's kind of how I got started.
Awesome. You've done incredible work for them.
Thank you.
All righty. So several members of the American Ninja Warrior community, such as Faisal's Fessy Shavat, Jesse Graff, and Natalie Ninja Duran, have competed on shows such as Big Brother, The Challenge, and the Titan Games. Would you be interested in competing in other shows? Why or why not?
Yes. It started off as a joke because I'm a smaller guy, but I was like, I want to go on the Titan Games. Like, I'm going to go on the Titan Games. And then eventually I was just like, no, I actually really do want to go on the Titan Games. I forget his name, but there was a competitor this season on the Titan Games who became a Titan and did really, really well. And he was a smaller, thin-framed guy like myself. And I was like, well, if he can do it, I can do it. He inspired me, and I wish I can remember his name. He was in the armed forces. I can't remember his name, but he became a Titan. And he lasted throughout the entire season. He made it all the way to the end until we had to find out who the Grand Titan was going to be. So he inspired me. And then I was like, maybe I do want to go out for the Titan game. So I'm not saying I am, but it is a possibility that I might be putting in a submission video for the Titan Games the coming season.
I know. For me, I have picked you. My friend Drew Angelman and I were doing a draft earlier this year about people we want to see in the challenge. Your name was on the top of my list because seriously, you would definitely be a wonderful addition to the challenge.
I've thought about the challenge, and I've thought about it, but it's very hostile. I don't know if my mental capacity is ready to deal with the challenge. And I have so much respect for the athletes on there because they are athletes. I mean, those guys and girls they're so insanely strong, and the things that they can do, I'm looking at them and I'm just like, I don't know if I'm capable of doing that. It's a lot of running, or that's a lot of puzzle pieces. There's so many things that go through my mind. It's so insane watching them compete. And then Natalie Duran, who just killed it both of her seasons. I was so impressed. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm a good fit for the challenge. I've thought about it. I don't know.
All righty. So we have 3 more questions to go. So what are some of your favorite social media platforms? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and why do they stand out?
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time? You were breaking up in here.
I'm sorry. What are your favorite social media platforms? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and why do they stand out?
So Instagram is my favorite. Number one, my favorite, because it's so easy to use. It just seems very natural for me just to take a photo, put it up on there, and then boom, I'm done. Facebook, I feel like Facebook, I think Facebook might be my second favorite because it's just an easy way for me to keep up with my friends, especially friends that I might have lost touch with, and I want to just reach out and see how they're doing. And it's just easy just to keep in touch with people, I think. And I would say my third favorite right now is TikTok because it's so new, it's so fresh. It's a new way of expressing yourself, and I haven't mastered it yet, but I love I'm one of those users that stays up late at night looking at videos, just like laughing just until the end of the night, realizing it's like 3 a.m. and I need to go to bed. But I love the users on TikTok. It's so funny.
All righty. Now, if you had the opportunity to meet with fans who want to audition for American Ninja Warrior, what advice would you share with them?
Oh man, I would just say enjoy the process because it's a quick one. It's very, very fast. It happens very quickly. And if you don't take in the moment, you'll be like, oh my God, that like flew by. So I would say anyone who was interested in getting into American Ninja Warrior, the advice I would give them is just enjoy the moment and just soak it all up because it is very fast. It happens very quickly. That was the mistake I made my rookie season. I was running at 1,000,000 miles per hour. I was working out. I was trying to get in shape, and then the show came, and I was so frantic. I was so nervous, and I was just like, what do I need to do? Like, where I need to be. And then my time came to run the course, and I ran the course, and then the next thing I knew, it was over. And it was like, okay, got to wait until next year. And it's like, oh, this is faster than Christmas. This happens way faster than Christmas does. So I would say just anyone who has aspirations of being on Ninja Warrior, just enjoy the moment. Just really soak it all up.
All righty. So where can my audience connect with you online and also on social media?
Excuse me. I think the easiest way for me to connect with me is just through Instagram. My athlete page is at the.flying.phoenix. That's the easiest way to engage with me. It's the social media platform that I'm on the most. Like I said, it's just very easy for me just to make a video or take a photo and just throw it up on Instagram. And I'm always replying back to my fans. I always reply back to my fans. I think it's very, very important to engage with people who take the time out of their day to say something positive to you. So that is the platform that I am the most engaged on. And if you want to just keep up with the things that I'm doing in my life, people can go on my website, NajeeRichardson.com, and see all the things that I'm just doing in my life, the things that are important to me, my dreams and goals and aspirations.
All righty, guys. If you want to download more episodes of the Jake's Take, the Jacob Elyachar Podcast, head to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Spreaker. Once again, just type in Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar, JACOBELYACHAR Podcast, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Spreaker. I did talk to several Ninja Warrior alums, including Patrick Lyons, and also a couple of big names this year. This has been a big year for Jake's Take. We got Survivor legend Ethan Zahn. We had Brandon Leak, who just won America's Got Talent season 15. We just had Big Brother legend Rachel Riley on. So it's been a huge year for the podcast. So if you want to follow me on social media, head to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Jacob Elyachar, JACOBELYACHAR. Once again, Jacob Elyachar, JACOBELYACHAR. Now, I just want to let you know, Najee, I actually covered American Ninja Warrior's visit during season 9 in 2017 when they went to Kansas City.
Nice.
Yeah, and I include interviews with Matt and Akbar.
That's so awesome. They are amazing. I don't know. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but Akbar just did the hottest chip challenge again. And I really want to do it. I really want to try it. So I might reach out to him, speaking of Matt and Akbar, and see if I can try this hot chip challenge.
And I also I interviewed Joe Moravsky in 2008-17.
Yeah,
and also the Wolfpack Ninjas, including founders Dr. Noah and Ian Dory. So I got to hang out with them. Really cool people. Guys, you can head to jakes-shake.com to read all my interviews with them. Once again, it's jakes-shake.com. Najee, thank you so much for taking time to talk with me. I really hope if Ninja Warrior returns for season 13, I cross my fingers that you're on there and front and center, my friend.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for watching, and have a great